these on? All right. Another day in paradise. Hell yeah. Another day in paradise. So, being judgmental by nature, just like everybody else, it's in human nature to judge. And anybody who tells you otherwise, it's a fake. Stay away from it or be aware of their little schemes, right? We judge by nature because it's called self-preservation, right? We want to make sure that there's no danger around us, what kind of people, places, what kind of an environment are we surrounded by? And there's nothing wrong with it, okay? These days, they want to strip you out. In my opinion and my own knowledge, by the only innate power that it's free, it's given. Mm-hmm. Observation. It's my motto. Observation is your salvation, right? So, always my conversation is for the few. The few in the right places are better than masses acting like herds, acting like cattle. It's proven. Is it scary? Of course. Right. This is one of the main, I will say the only reason why people don't want to, all right, communicate well with other people because they're scared, right? They're going to be thrown to prison and they're going to be judged, right? They're going to twist your words, your stories. They're going to make false accusations, nothing new, right? But this shouldn't stop you for expressing your unique DNA, right? So, I want to bring this up, right? That something that even myself, we underestimate, but I'm getting better, actually very good at it, right? It involves money, of course, right? Just like everything. I deal with a lot of people who are in therapy. I deal with a lot of people who are under medication, right? And it's always been intriguing to me, like how people cannot manage their own thoughts or feelings, right? Or they cannot face their own traumas. And when I started reading books, especially when I was incarcerated, about the power of foods, right? When you know how you learn how to eat properly, right? Food creates moods, right? People think it's an imbalanced chemical in your brain that causes, woman or man to be bipolar, schizophrenia, whatever, psychos. And the irony about it is like every single person that I know, there's kind of like on medications, they either smoking or eating garbage. What is about garbage? I mean like fast food, cheap food. Right? Because the excuse is that we cannot afford expensive food, organic food, because it's expensive. Yes and no, right? I believe that to fix your life is not as hard or complicated as we think it is. Okay? Everything starts with you. I think there was somebody who said this. I don't know if it's a proverb, African, Roman proverb, I forgot, but it's a proverb, said that anybody who is in the search for God might as well start with himself. And I like it, right? If there's such thing, searching for God, you start searching within yourself, right? You're the starting point for that. Yeah, and food, right? He was it's a Greek doctor, Hippocrates. Hippocrates said that the best medicine is food, and I think it's never overstretched. It's just like you can never get so much to emphasize that what you put in inside of your body, and I'm not talking about thoughts, I'm talking about tangible things, food, right? Food, enough protein, right? Clean, real protein, etc., right? This is what gives you not only the energy, but it gives you the proper minerals and chemicals to dictate your mood throughout the day, right? I believe in medicine. I'm a sophisticated person. I do believe in artificial intelligence. I do believe it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing to know what people in college or people in Congress or professionals or people in courts know. Now we can know it through artificial intelligence. I think it's great. I think we're living in marvelous times and awesome. But today in my video, I want to talk about the crucial fundamentals of eating food, right? The proper food. So I was with my girl one time, like a few years ago, like 2-3 years ago, and she knows this about spreadsheets and all this thing. And it was crazy, right? Because I'm not blaming her, I love her. She's my baby. I have kids with her. But she had a spreadsheet, and literally the groceries, the food was at the bottom of the list. What's up? I like your flag. Yeah. So it was at the bottom of the list. And I said, baby, but why is it that food is at the bottom of the list and the bills are at the beginning of the list, right? It's a priority. So that means that you start with your bills in the so-called spreadsheet, right? And then whatever you have left, this is what you have for food, right? And I told him, no. It's the other way around, okay? You start with food, okay? And then the bills are at the bottom. And she said, like, you're crazy. You're nuts, right? No, I'm not. All right. And I guide her. I walk her through why is it that in your spreadsheet, right, you want groceries or food the first thing, not bills. All right. Food is non-negotiable. It's your priority. Okay. Because food will give you the necessarily enlightenment, all right, nutrients, the good energy and mood that you need to make decisions, right? But of course, you said like you're delusional Alex, you're stupid because we live in America, right? Inflation, right, is hitting the moon of how high. And I think you should go to school and learn. Well, I did. I did Fed time. I met a lot of realtors, a lot of people who were in college, and they, certain things they agree, certain things they didn't agree. Of course, it's just like life. But I'm here to tell you guys because I have kids, I have family. I've done it on my own, and I'm gonna include sleep, right? Sleep, it's so essential that people, including myself, when you're not getting enough sleep, you cannot get a diagnosis from your doctor or from yourself because you think, oh, okay, I think I have liver problems. I think I have this problem. I have this problem. No. First, you need to put yourself to sleep for at least a week, right? 8, 9 hours, right? And then you can test and do a diagnosis with your body, okay? Because otherwise you'll be lost, right? You don't sleep, all your organs are off, your brain, your liver, everything. So you cannot make a good statistic, a good fucking list of what's wrong with you, right? And then, but that's just sleep. But I'm talking about foods, right? So I told my girl that food, groceries were at the bottom of the list, right? So whatever you have left for your paycheck, from your paycheck, this is what you're just gonna make out of it, all right? And I think this is the downfall of not only America, but the world, okay? Because we have put mortgages, rent, bills above food, okay? And I think I did it to myself. I will never go back. I will never go back. I literally have a formula, right? And it works if you're single, right? Or living on your own. If you cannot pay your rent with one paycheck, you're fucking up. Period. That's what it is, right? This is what it is. If you're not paying, I'm gonna repeat it again. If you're not paying, thank you for your scripts. Hey, thank you. How many hours? Well, basically, there's a lot of studies, right? So this is the thing, guys, that you just can't just read something or watch a video or watch me and say, okay, this doesn't work for me. There's a lot of people that I know that if I sleep more than 8 hours, I'm just tired throughout the day, right? I'm just clumsy. I'm just sluggish, whatever. Okay. Me, I think it's your body trying to recover for so much that you haven't slept, that you have to go through that little rocky road, right? You hit a plateau until you hit the normal range about how to feel good when you're sleeping, right? At least 8 hours. So for me, it works. I've done it 1,000%. I can share this with you guys that if I don't sleep, at least 7 hours, and I'm exaggerating, I need to at least sleep 8. Like, I can see my body. I don't care how good I eat. I don't care how well I think I'm doing. It's just gonna take off my percentage, right? But I understand. If you're military, you're a sniper, you're a police, law enforcement, you're working the third shift, we all go through lives and we have to make adjustments. But I'm just taking a quick note so you can know where to start, right? That sleep matters. But we're talking about food. So yeah, going with my girl, okay, we passed that. She had groceries at the bottom of the list. It took her probably like 6 months to understand this. And she said, like, you know what? I've been eating right. And you know what? I don't want to live in this place no more. I don't want to live in this neighborhood, right? Awesome, right? So food, guys, is non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable, right? It's non-negotiable. I don't care what everybody says. I don't care if you're paying your tuition. I don't care if you have 1,000 kids and you just don't have nothing to eat. You just cannot sacrifice, right? Food is priceless, okay? Organic, it's a good way to go, right? But I understand there's a lot of promotion. being pushed propaganda that it just anything that just says organic, that doesn't necessarily say it's good for you. Okay, I agree with that, right? But food, when I'm talking about foods, I'm talking about farmers market, right? Something fresh, vegetables, fruits, meats, red meats, beef. You cannot compare that with frozen burritos, frozen garbage that you're just heating up on a, what is it called? A dry fucking, I lost it. It's not a microwave. It's another fucking thing. Ninja. It's a fucking, what is it? Oh my God, I lost it. So I don't believe in this thing that you just switch and it's cooking. It needs no air fryer. I got it, air fryer. Air fryer. So this air fryer, a lot of people think it's healthy. It's not. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You cannot cook a steak in an air fryer. It tastes like fucking horse mud. You know, if you know what I mean, right? Hey man, what's up? Just up. All right, thank you, bro. How are you today? I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm doing good. So I'm talking about food because I know that I don't want to take you guys to the extreme about how to eat so perfect, okay? But I'm gonna give some examples that have worked for me and from other people when I was incarcerated and coming out of prison, right? Okay, so food not necessarily gives you like strength. Strength is just one factor, one of many things that food gives you, okay? Food gives you so much things that I can go on and on, talk about it, but to synthesize, right? Brief, it gives you energy to keep going through the day. If you have family, you're gonna have energy to play with your kids, interact with your wife, all right? Go to work or have your business, run it, have time for sports, to exercise, have time for the buddies, right? Have time to go to whatever you need to go, okay? So there's a lot of stages during the day that you're gonna live, right? By moment, okay? And food plays a big role, okay? Basically, sleep and food is what gives you success during the day. Why am I talking this? Because I got tired of listening to all these fake gurus about getting money quick and then you get it, right? But then there's something that you're not enjoying it, right? To a certain extent, they're like, okay, you're eating certain things, but then you're not sleeping. So then you don't know if what you ate is good or not, okay? So this is the catch. This is the formula, guys. So not to confuse you. Whenever you're eating right or you want to start a diet, you want to start to eat right, you need to know and understand that for you to understand if the food, all right, it's your body's benefiting from the food that you're eating is because you're sleeping. You can eat the right food, but if you don't sleep, you cannot see the change, the nourishing on your body, in your body, because you're not sleeping, okay? You're not sleeping. So food and sleep, you cannot compromise. Mm-hmm. But we're living life, this life, okay? I know it, okay? There's certain nights that you cannot sleep. Why? You might have a baby. You might be in the military. You, like I said, you might be whatever you're doing on a mission. But the thing is, if it's a lifestyle, years and years and years, you cannot expect a healthy life, okay? And if you cannot make good decisions during the day, that means there's not going to be a good outcome during your whole life, okay? And it is crazy why we sacrifice always something that it's almost given for free or that you just like have full control of it, okay? And I'm saying about food and sleep because you have control of it. It's so crazy that we sacrifice things they are given to us for free, or we have it by nature, right? It's a right that was given by, we have, it's just nature. We have to sleep for us to be alive. But then we sacrifice it because we think that by not sleeping, we're gonna achieve this. But then it becomes a habit. Then you just don't never sleep, and then everything is going nuts. Everything's going crazy, right? And the reason I'm saying is because I saw, I think it was Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, and he said that he gets tired because the president, Donald Trump, he calls him at 2, 3 a.m. He's already awake. And I say, like, can this be why a person can make some rush decisions, right? Some crazy decisions because he's not getting enough sleep. And I know it sounds cliche. It sounds kind of like, what? That doesn't even sound right. It doesn't make sense. It does make sense. It does make sense. There are studies, and a lot of studies have been repressed because it can be like harmful, right? I've read them. There's studies in other countries when they deprive people from sleeping, and the things that they do when they don't have enough rest and sleep, it's devastating. And they become literally a monster, right? And I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So it was kind of like one of the things that I was thinking, that this is why our president, right, makes some decisions that sometimes we think they're a little bit off, and not a little bit, glued to common sense or to the better of not only the country but to the planet. And it's because he's not getting enough sleep. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's just like some, food for thought. But yes, guys, I think food goes hand by hand with sleep. You can be eating good and not get enough sleep, so you're not gonna benefit from the food. You're not gonna notice if really you're getting enough protein, because your body needs sleep, right? And for people who work out, I work out, we know all this, right? It's not a secret. So when you're pumping iron, you're lifting weights, you're not growing when you're lifting weights. You grow when you sleep, right? And this is not debatable. This is absolutely 100% true, okay? I've done time with fucking bodybuilders. The time that you go to sleep and you wake up and you slept like a lion, you literally touch your arms. I'm like, what the hell happened? It was like somebody was pumping, air on your veins, on your bloodstream. That's how serious this is. When you sleep, this is when you heal, okay? And I understand sometimes there's moments that you can't sleep, but you have to try, guys. You have to try to sleep, because otherwise you're gonna go nuts, and that's gonna influence on your decisions. And I think it got my attention. I'm not a politician, I don't follow news a lot because a lot of things is just filter, fake. But I was very not concerned, but it brought to my attention when Marco Rubio said, the Secretary of State, that he's barely getting sleep, right? Because Donald Trump giving him a call. Hey, are you ready? We need to sign this. We need to go here. And it's barely 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. And I'm like, man, this can be affecting them both, right? Both. They literally should be a law. Not a law, but, some regulations that the President of the United States of America needs to sleep 8, 9 hours. Literally. Because you have to sleep to make good decisions, all right? I'm not going crazy, but I know I'm touching something, right? That people in power, law enforcement, in Congress, lawmakers, I know there has to be something that these people have to sleep, because they're making decisions that the whole planet, the whole world, right, is gonna feel, resent, okay? So there's gonna be an outcome. If you're not sleeping, your decisions are not going to be, right, as decisive, right? That's effective if you're not sleeping right. I don't believe I'll be concerned, right? If a judge has sentenced somebody, right? He didn't have sleep last night, and he has a pretrial, and this is a serious case, right? A murder case, an example, right? The ones that we see on the news, and the judge or the prosecutor, they didn't sleep for 2-3 days. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the kind of decisions they're going to be making? So I think sleep should be considered a priority, right, in the list. Huh? I think so. I think so, and I'm going to be talking about it. And I know that like you should be studies. I don't think that we need statistics. I don't think we need a study that was made in UK or United States. I think we all know the basics of sleeping, right? And I'm not talking about napping. That's another animal, a different one. I'm talking about sleeping, right? At night. How your natural inner clock dictates. So, yeah, I'll leave it like that, guys. What do you guys think, right? If our higher lawmakers, government figures, politicians are not sleeping right, what kind of decisions they're making, right? And I think it sounds funny. It sounds kind of like, what the hell? I think they should be bringing it up. They should be bringing it up in the meetings, the gatherings, city halls, whatever, They should be bringing it up, measuring how many hours they sleep, because it really matters. It really matters, and it should not be something that should be taken lightly, right? If anybody needs to make a decision tomorrow, guys, I'm going to wrap it up with this. I don't care who you are, what you are. If you're going to make a big decision tomorrow or in the near future, you need to sleep. You need to sleep right, because sleep matters, right? And sleep will give you everything, will enable you to make the best decision that you need to make, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about you all the time. Decisions have repercussions. They have ripple effects, okay? Sleep matters, okay? And I understand that money matters too, okay? But if you're gonna sacrifice your sleep for money, I'm here to tell you it's not worth it, okay? It's not worth it, and you'll be surprised how much better decisions you can make when you sleep right. And don't be scared to shock people, to shock your supervisor, your manager, change jobs, careers, just for the fact that you're not getting enough sleep, right? But you're getting paid thousands. It don't matter. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. I think we are in a pivotal moment where everybody has an opinion about something, but rarely somebody feels good about their decisions. And you have to eat right. You have to sleep correct, right? Because decisions are the product, the result of what you eat and how you sleep. All right, guys? Good night. I know it's simple, funny, maybe goofy, whatever word you want to put. Corny, I don't care. Think about it, right? The people in power, if they're not sleeping, what kind of decisions they're making? If they're not eating right, what kind of decisions they're making for us, right? And if you're eating right, sleeping right, then you shouldn't be concerned about your decisions, because they are made and created correctly.